Hello all, welcome back to Anetronics. In this video, let us start by understanding what is feed-forward neural networks and then we'll learn about the multi-layer perceptron. So do subscribe and hit the bell icon to be updated with my new videos. Now let's get to the video. Forward neural networks and multi-layer perceptron. So let's head back and understand what are feed-forward neural networks. So, a feed-forward neural network contains multiple nodes which are used in multiple layers. As you can see, we have an input layer, a hidden layer and an output layer over here. And a feed-forward neural network can contain two types of nodes. One is a mono layer which does not contain any hidden layers, and then we have our multi-layer perceptron where there is one input layer and there exists at least one hidden layer, and there you have one output layer. So all of the inputs are taken from the input layer and the processing is done in the hidden layer and the output is given by the output layer. So now let's see what exactly is this multi-layer perceptron. Here we have this input layer where all of the inputs are sent, and then the processing is done in this hidden layers over here. So each of these hidden layers does a part of the processing work. So let's say first stage of processing is done in the first hidden layer, second stage of the processing will be done in the second hidden layer, and it goes on. But by the end we'll have a linear equation. So this final linear equation is sent through an activation function, and that activation function converts this linear equation into a non-linear form and sends that out through the output layer. So now let's understand this multi-layer perceptron with an example. So over here in this multi-layer perceptron we have this input layer and this hidden layer and the output layer over here. Now let's start with the input layer. So in the input layer we have two external inputs, x1 and x2. Now along with these external inputs we also have a bias. So the bias will be generally 1. Now these inputs are sent to the hidden layer, and these links between the input layer and the hidden layer are basically associated with the weights. Now once these inputs are sent to the hidden layer, all of the processing is done here. So what exactly happens in this hidden layer is the inputs are multiplied with the corresponding weights over here. So x1 is multiplied with w1, x2 is multiplied with w2, and 1 over here which is bias is multiplied by w0. So we finally get this equation in the hidden layer, which is w0 into 1 plus w1 into x1 plus w2 into x2, and this is the linear equation. So we need to convert this into non-linear solution, and to do that we would require an activation function. So now we pass this linear equation through an activation function, and then we'll get a result which is finally sent out through the output layer over here. So keeping all this in mind, that is how the input layer works, how the hidden layer works, and how the output layer works. Now let us solve this use case. So if you can see here, we again have the input layer, a hidden layer and the output layer. So here the inputs are the marketing platforms which we have. So marketing through emails is our first input, then marketing by referral programs is our second input, and then we have paid ads, direct marketing, social media marketing and organic search marketing as our inputs. So when all of these are combined, they will form our inputs, and these inputs are sent to the hidden layer, and the links here are associated with certain weights, and those weights will be multiplied with the corresponding inputs, and we get the linear equation. And that particular linear equation is passed through an activation function which gives us non-linear solution that is sent out through this output layer. So by the result we'll get to know which combination of these marketing platforms will be the best idea for us. So now let's go through another use case to understand this multi-layer perceptrons in a better way. So here we have this data set which is given as table. So this column tells us the number of hours studied by the student, and this column tells us the midterm marks scored by the student, and this column tells us whether the student has passed in the exam or not. So 1 tells us that the student has passed and 0 tells us that the student has failed in the exam. So these two would be our inputs and this would be our final result. Now, if at all we want to predict whether a student studying 25 hours and having 70 marks in the midterm will pass the final term or not, then the input number of hours studied will be 25 and the midterm marks will be 70, and now we have to predict the result. And this is basically a binary classification problem, as the result will be either 1 or 0. So we'll solve this using binary classification problem through a multi-layer perceptron. So we understood what is feed-forward propagation before. That is, in feed-forward, we start from the input layer and these are sent to the hidden layer for processing, and the processed output is sent to the output layer. But that would not be our final solution. So in this multi-layer perceptron, it uses back propagation algorithm. Using this back propagation, it will come out with optimum solution. So we'll see in the coming slides. When it comes to here, we have the input layer, hidden layer and output layer. So here the inputs are the hours studied by the student, that is 35, and the midterm marks scored by the student is 67, and this is our bias, which will be 1. So the weights associated with them are W1, W2 and W3. So in forward propagation, we have predicted the values here. And the prediction for this node comes out to be 0.4, and for this node it comes out to be 0.6. But the actual result for this output is 1 and for this one is 0. So the difference comes out to be, for this output node, the difference comes out to be 0.6, and for this output node the difference comes to be minus 0.6. So what we do is, there is an error in prediction. Now the activation function used in this output layer is the softmax function. So the softmax function usually gives us the probabilities and whose sum comes out to be 1. So if you see the probabilities here, we have the probability of pass for the first output neuron is 0.4 and the probability of fail for the second output neuron is 0.6. When we sum it up, the output result is 1. So this is due to the softmax function. And the same thing is here. These are the inputs, that is the number of hours studied by the student and the midterm marks scored, and now these inputs are sent to the hidden layer where the processing is done. So these are multiplied with the corresponding weight functions, and the equation will be 1 into W1 plus 35 into W2 plus 67 into W3. And this is a linear equation which is passed through the activation function, and the resulted output is sent through the output layer. So here the probability of passing is given as 0.4 and the probability of failing is given as 0.6. But actually it is wrong, as the actual output should be 1 here and the 0. So we got an error, and it is 0.6 for the first output node and minus 0.6 for the second output node. This has happened because the weights and bias initially are randomly assigned. So as they are randomly selected, we got random weights. Now we need to go back and optimize these weights. So this is where the back propagation comes in. What we do is, once we get the errors, we'll go back and update these weights using an optimization algorithm. So we would have to go and update W1, W2 and W3, and when we'll get the optimal weights, we'll get the optimal result, that is 1 for the first node and 0 for the second output node. So this is how the back propagation algorithm works. What we'll do is, we'll find out the change in error with respect to the change in weights. So here we need to find out the change in y with respect to the change in W4, W5 and W6, and then when we'll get that, we'll go back, that is, we back propagate and update the values of W4, W5 and W6, and this is how the back propagation is done. So due to this, the result has also changed. Using the back propagation, the probability of pass, that is the probability of first node, changed to 0.8, and the probability of fail, that is the probability for the second node, is changed to 0.2. So the error in prediction for the first node is 0.2 and for the second one is also minus 0.2. So after back propagating and updating all of these weights, we find out that the error is reduced. So this is how the back propagation is used in optimizing the weights. And that is all about the back propagation. By this, we have learned what is a multi-layer perceptron. So it basically has 3 layers. One is the input layer where all the inputs will be given, and next the hidden layer where all of the processing is done, and then the output layer through which the outputs will be given. So if you have any doubts regarding this topic, please let me know through the comment section or mail me at anitronics.info@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this video.